You are watching this video because you love to play Minecraft, don't you? And you happen to be a Wigan Athletic fan as well, most likely. So what better thing to do than to combine these two things and make the Wigan Athletic logo into a very easy statue like the one behind me here. Let me show you how you can make it too and put it into your Minecraft world. As requested by Joe Taylor, we are going to make the Wigan Athletic logo in Minecraft. And we're going to make a statue out of it because that's the easiest thing to do because it's only 16 by 16 blocks. At least that's what I'm going to make here. And the logo is round. It's got blue. It's a blue circle, and it has a goldish crown with the numbers 1932 on it, and then it has a tree on top of the crown with some blue lines inside that circle, inner circle, and it also has some golden footballs on the sides. Now, when we are only using 16 by 16 as the size, the details won't be very, very well detailed, but there should be a recognizable logo out of this. And you can, of course, use whatever blocks you want, but I find that using concrete and sometimes terracotta works quite well for these statues. And for the Wigan logo statue, we will use 10 blocks of yellow terracotta, 76 light blue concrete or blue concrete, 106 white concrete, 10 green concrete, and 6 brown concrete. So the question is, how do we get yellow terracotta, which is the first block that we need on our list? Well, one thing that we can do is to trade with a villager, and I've got Bill Eckersley here to trade with, and I can trade yellow terracotta with him. That would give us what we need. But if you ain't got no villager to trade with, which I do, we can get some clay. When you have found some clay balls, you need to make them into a clay block like this. You need 8 clay blocks to make 1 terracotta, and then you have to smelt them in the furnace, which will turn them into terracotta. And then we find like a dandelion or something else that will give yellow dye, turn it into yellow dye, put it in the middle of the crafting table, surround it with 8 terracotta. That will give us, in fact, it gives 8 yellow dye. So that's the other option for you there. Next up is concrete. And we need light blue concrete, white concrete, green concrete, and brown concrete. First of all, you need the dyes for this, and let's start with how you make the actual concrete powder. You need sand, and you need gravel, and you need the actual dye. So let's show you how we make the different kinds of dye that we need today. For brown dye, you need a... Don't I have that in with me here? Did I already use it? You need one of these. This is cocoa beans. Uh-oh. So yes, you need a cocoa bean to produce brown dye, and you need a cactus, which we need to put into the smelter to produce green dye. There we go. Let's go back to the crafting table. We need bones and bone meal to produce white dye. We are going to use a couple of them because we are going to produce blue dye, and you can use blue instead of light blue, but if you want light blue, you can combine white dye with blue dye, and then you have light blue dye. And then to make the concrete, you combine 4 sand and 4 gravel like this. And then you just pop in the color you need like this. And then you have, in this case, 8 green concrete powder. We can do, oh, I need more gravel, but we can just use this as an example. And to make it into concrete, you need to put it in water, in contact with water like this. This will turn the concrete powder into concrete, and then you just mine it with a pickaxe. It doesn't matter if it has silk touch on it or fortune or no fortune, no enchantments at all, because you can mine it either way. And then you just make the rest of the material list. Now that we have gathered all the materials we are ready to build, I have made a kind of a fish pond here behind me. But you can put the statue on whatever you like. I have all the statues here in this football logo park here. This is all the English logos here in my English village. And another tip is that you place the statue facing towards either the sunset or the sunrise. In this case, I'm going to face the statues towards the sunset, which will put the sun shining nicely on the statue. Also, you should have some scaffolding in your inventory when you build these things, which will help you build them nicely. Let's get started building. I put up a scaffolding and we're ready to go. So just follow along block by block. Pause the video if you need to. Let's go. there we are, all done. And what a nice view of the whole English village with the logo football park as well, with all the statues here. It's absolutely recognizable as the Wigan Athletic logo, I think. If you want to add the English flag or perhaps the Scottish flag to your Minecraft world, watch one of these two videos next.